Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to part 2 of my Vodafone Smart Tab II review. And in this review we're going to look at the tablet when you first switch it on and general impressions. Now first of all, thanks go to Vodafone themselves for lending me this product to review, but I'll stress again, as I did in the first review, that this is still 100% my views of the device. Now, this review is going to consist of my impressions of turning on the tablet for the very first time. I've not logged into any of my Google accounts and I've not downloaded any additional applications. So this is basically what you get of a Vodafone Smart Tab II out of a box. And as you can see, the first thing you'll notice is you can switch this to landscape mode. And you may notice, if you've been experienced with other Android devices and tablets, that this operating system is somewhat a little out of date. That's because it's running the Android ice cream sandwich version of the Android operating system, which has been around for a year now. Each home screen has a few of the more popular applications and some widgets such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter and weather. It's certainly not jam-packed full of applications and goodies, but I think this is a good thing because it allows you to start with a fresh, uncluttered tablet that you can add applications of your choice to. Now, as you can see in the settings, it's running Android version 4.04, which is Ice Cream Sandwich, and unfortunately you can't update this to the new Jelly Bean operating system that you'd find in the Nexus 7. I did ask Vodafone whether they'd be updating it to 4.1 Jelly Bean, but there doesn't appear to be any plans to at the moment. The next problem is onboard memory storage. Look here. There's 500 meg in this partition and then another 1.8 gig in another partition. So that only gives you 2.3 gigs worth of storage space to put music and applications on. So you're definitely going to need to use a micro SD card which you can put into the device. The default browser of the Smart Tab II is Google Chrome, which is a very fast internet browser for tablets and smartphones. It does default to a mobile browser, so as you can see here, I'm on the BBC website, and it's automatically defaulting to what you might find on a smartphone, or indeed a 7-inch tablet such as this. You can change it to the more desktop version by going to settings and then requesting a desktop site, and this will then load up the website of your choice in a desktop mode. It does obviously take a little bit longer, and the tablet maybe struggles a little bit. It's still fine, as you can see it's scrolling okay. There's a bit of lag as I'm scrolling up and down there, and when I zoom in, yeah, it did deal with it relatively fine. I would say in comparison to other tablets, this is definitely an average benchmark performance. Nothing fantastic, but at the same time it's not too slow either. Now, to give it a little bit of a stress test, I'm going to go to the Major League Baseball website, which is full of all sorts of wizardry in terms of a website, and it usually takes a long time to load on a tablet. And while it's loading, let me just say that the performance is more than acceptable on this tablet. Because of its price, which is very cheap, £150, you are buying an economy tablet, so you have to expect that things aren't going to run very fast, but they still should run okay. Now, I've been talking for about 20 seconds there, and the website still hasn't loaded up. And in the end, it didn't load up properly at all. This blank black space at the top of the website, which I didn't realise until I started scrolling, but it had now finished the website. So obviously something hasn't gone quite right there. But to be fair, this is a Major League Baseball website, which is, for me, one of those websites that do find out whether an application can cope with it. And there, as you can see, Chrome just gave up in the end and completely crashed. But I'm not going to give it too much of a criticism. Now, interestingly, this tablet does come with a second browser. And this is one of the older browsers that's come with Honeycomb and Ice Cream Sandwich browsers, but actually includes Flash on board. Now, Flash is something that's been taken out of the tablets since the Jelly Bean update. You can manually install it onto Jelly Bean tablets, but it's a bit of a hack job. But in this instance, the tablet simply comes with Flash, so if you go to the BBC website, you can watch videos without any problems, and they work quite well, as you can see in this example. So it's a bit of a positive aspect that the tablet is a little bit behind the times and still has this nice feature of Flash working without having to do any extra work. Although, as you can see, it did just stuff for a little bit in performance, but that could be the Wi-Fi performance of my internet. The other thing to point out is that the two speakers are on the back of a tablet, which again means that the sound is projecting itself away from the user, which I always find a bit of an irritation. So if we look at the graphical performance of a tablet a little bit now and we use Google Maps, we can again say that the performance is average. It's solid and I would say reliable. I'm just looking around Hull where I live, and as you can see, it's loading up the page fairly smoothly. There is a bit of a delay, but it's nothing that's going to impede you from using it if you're just sitting down on the couch, just relaxing and browsing the maps. Now I'm going to put the satellite on, and again it switches to the satellite mode in a very acceptable time. Scrolling around, you can just see that the page is being built up as I scroll around, but it's nothing too concerning. It feels like you're using a slower tablet. It's not a premium tablet, but again, not a problem. And if I jump to London, so I'm jumping very quickly from one place to another, again, it takes about 3 or 4 seconds to load up a map. But this is fairly acceptable performance, and there's no crashing, reliable stuff. And to quickly look at 2 productivity applications, we have Documents to Go, which is useful, and a File Manager, which is very useful for a tablet. Like Flash, it's another one of those things where you don't have to go off into the marketplace to try and find a suitable application. It's there within the tablet, and it just makes things much easier for a novice user. What you're seeing here are 2 pictures I took with a rear-facing camera. I'm not going to go into too much detail in these cameras. You can judge the quality for yourselves. But I'm going to say that again, it's a economy tablet, but it's nice to have this feature. You don't have a rear-facing camera on the Nexus 7. That's one of the big minus points. So it's nice to be able to have this opportunity to take pictures of my thumbs. Coming up next are 2 videos I took with a tablet, and I'll apologise for the first video as I think I had my finger over the microphone for the first part. So that's my fault in terms of the quality.
And this is the performance of the rear-facing camera. I hope you can see me, because obviously I can't see the screen, so I'm just looking at the camera. And this is the performance of a front-facing camera, which obviously I can see the screen for. And the frame rate does look very jerky.
The final test I'm going to do in this part of the review is to look at a YouTube video, so see how the video performance is. So I'm just going to go to the YouTube application, and I'm going to, just by chance, find one of my videos and see how quickly it loads and the general performance. So let's take a look at some genius work.
The battle lines have been drawn. This winter, a technological conflict will determine the fate of the tablet market.
Just like almost every other aspect of a Smart Tab II, you can say not bad. Not bad at all for the price you're paying. However, it's not as good as a Nexus 7, which costs the same price, minus a 3G. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon in part 3 of this review.